Hi everyone. Yesterday, last class, we have discussed about the introduction to nucleus, like representation of nucleus, ZXA, and what are the constituent particles of the nucleus, like nucleons. What are those nucleons? Protons and neutrons. And we found like how to calculate the mass of the nucleus from the mass of proton and neutron. If you know the mass of proton and neutron, of course we have taken the masses also. And always I said like we measure the mass of nucleons in terms of AMU, atomic mass unit. Yes or no? So similar way, let us discuss few more things related to nucleus today. Now, here the first thing is density of the nucleus. See, the general formula, if you consider density, what is the formula of density? Mass by volume. Last class we found mass, we found volume. Then if you divide mass with volume, then the density value you will get it. Let's see. So here first thing is mass of the nucleus. What was the mass of the nucleus? ZMP. One proton mass is MP, so the total mass of all protons is ZMP plus A minus Z times Mn. That is the total mass of neutrons. So that total mass of proton plus total mass of neutron, nothing but total calculated mass of the nucleus. So nothing but calculated mass of nucleus, because sometimes they may give the nucleus mass directly, then you don't have to calculate in this manner. If they give some atom like ZXA, like 2 helium 4, then you have to calculate like this. Then these values you require depending upon the question. But this is calculated mass, and if they give, that is actual mass. So that difference will understand here, binding energy concept, mass defect concept. But right now just take this. Either they may give directly mass of the nucleus, take that mass. Otherwise calculate this. But you need mass of the nucleus. Any one they will give. When they give total mass, then no need to calculate in this manner. Now, volume. Volume equal to what? 4 by 3 pi r cube. Where r is what? Radius. What is the radius of the nucleus? Capital R equal to r naught a power 1 by 3. And I gave r naught is a constant which is same for every atom. 1.2 Fermi meter, or sometimes 1.4 they will mention. Otherwise you take 1.2 if they don't mention. Then A is mass number which is different for different nucleus. R naught is same for all the nucleus. Now 4 by 3 pi R value substitute. R naught a power 1 by 3 whole cube equal to 4 by 3 pi R naught whole cube, R naught cube, a power 1 by 3 whole power 3. 3 will get cancelled because 1 by 3 power 3. So what will remain? A. So this is the total volume of the nucleus. Now we got mass and volume independently. Yes sir. Now this thing, let's take mass of nucleus. Take here. I said that mass of proton is approximately equal to mass of neutron. So in every calculation we will take this one, in every question. Until and unless they specify something else. Take my word, note it. Until and unless they specify both masses are different, we take approximately same mass, 1.627 into 10 power minus 27 kg. That is same. Okay. Now, here mass of the nucleus, then it will become Z into this value, you take it as approximately m. What is m now? Either mass of proton or neutron, approximate value. Now, Z into m plus a minus Z into m equal to Zm plus am minus Zm cancel how much? Am. Now, the mass of nucleus is equal to mass number times mass of proton or neutron. Approximately, don't forget. So that the density of nucleus will become mass am by volume 4 by 3 pi r naught cube a equal to a get cancelled, 3 will go up, 3m by 4 pi r naught cube. Understand it properly. 3 is constant, m is constant. Why? Because mass of proton is same for every atom, every nucleus. 4 is constant, pi is constant, r naught is also constant. So can we conclude anything from this? Yes. What? The density of nucleus is independent of Z as well as A. There is no dependence. So nucleus density is same for all the nucleus. So all the nuclei have same density, and this value you know, this value you know, these all values if you substitute, it will come approximately 2.3 into 10 power 17. 10 power 17 kg per meter cube. Density means what is the unit? Kg per meter cube. So this is what the density of the nucleus. Density of the nucleus. Now the next thing is mainly what we will understand is mass energy equivalence. Mass energy equivalence. Who has given this is the greatest of all time, Einstein. Einstein given this mass energy relation, equivalence relation. So what he concluded or what he has given to us is every amount of mass is equivalent to some amount of energy. Like just you took some food, some amount, you will get some energy. So like that he said, like every amount of mass, every particular amount, every mass is equivalent to particular corresponding some amount of energy. And to calculate that, he has given us one formula that E equal to mc square. So m mass is always equal to mc square amount of energy. So that's why it is called mass energy equivalence. So the energy equal to particular amount of mass, equivalence of mass energy. So that here why we require this, because to calculate this thing. What is this? Binding energy. Let's see further. But first, every time when we deal with nucleus, I said that masses we measure in terms of what? AMU. So that's why it is better to find 1 AMU equivalent energy. What is the energy equivalent to 1 AMU? Then for any atom, if you have to calculate like 5.7, 7.7 AMU they have given. If you know the energy of 1 AMU, then you can multiply that with 7.7. Easily you can get it. That's why we always remember the energy equivalence of the basic fundamental unit. What is that? 1 AMU. So, mass is 1.67 into 10 power minus 27. What is C? C is speed of light. What is the value of speed of light? 3 into 10 power 8 whole square. So that 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 times 9 times 10 power 16. So next here multiply here 9 so 15.03 approximately you can take 15 into 10 power minus 27 10 power 16 how much 10 power minus 11 so it is like kg meter second. So what is the unit will become kg meter square per second square, nothing but what joule, all are SI units. So 15 into 10 power minus 11 joules. But most of the time these atomic energies are nucleus energies we measure in terms of what I said electron volt or mega electron volt, where 1 electron volt equal to what I said 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules, or 1 joule equal to 1 by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 electron volt. And here one more thing I am telling, mega. Mega means what? 1 mega electron volt means 10 power 6 electron volt. Mega 10 power 6. Giga 10 power 9. Like that. So you need to express in terms of mega electron volt, because most of the times in numericals they will give mega electron volt. So 1 mega electron volt means how much? 10 power 6 electron volt. First, it is in joules. First you need to convert into electron volt. So how to convert? How to convert from joules to electron volt? Divide with charge of electron. So the equivalent energy will become 15 into 10 power minus 11 by, what is the charge of electron? 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Then it will become what? Electron volt. Joules to electron volt. In dual nature of radiation and matter, we have done many questions like this. Now, point goes 0 equal to 150 by 16 times. If it goes up, plus 19. Plus 19 minus 11. How much? Plus 8. Now, 2 8s are, 2 7s are, 2 5s are. Now, 8 9s are 72. Then 30. 8 3s are 24, 60. 8 9 37. Sorry, 9.37 into 10 power 8. So it is approximately, they will take it as 935, because they will mention sometime, that's why I am giving you approximate value. So actually it is 937 into 10 power 6. See, 10 power 8 means I multiplied 2 zeros here, so that point moved here. So 10 power 6 I have written. So 937 into 10 power 6, or approximately sometime they will give 935 into 10 power 6 electron volt. But 10 power 6 what I can write? Mega. So 935 mega electron volt. So 1 AMU equivalent energy equal to how much? 935 mega electron volt or 937, or sometimes they mention approximately 933 because everywhere we are taking approximations. So that's why the approximate value is how much? 935 or 933 something. If they mention, then no worry. If they don't mention, take 933 or 935, you will not get anything wrong. Don't worry about it. But remember any particular value like 935 or 937 or 933. So 1 AMU equivalent energy. This is mass energy equivalence. Now, why we require this? Because there always when you consider a nucleus, difference in two things. What are those two things? Consider this is a nucleus. Let's take ZXA. Now Z into MP plus A minus Z into Mn is the total mass of the nucleons or calculated mass of the nucleus, or you can say like total mass of the constituents of the nucleus. These many protons, these many neutrons, so that the total mass of the constituents of the nucleus. But when you take the atom as a whole, that mass if you take, that is M, this is actual mass. But unfortunately, these two you will not get equal. These two you will not get equal. There is always a difference. There is always a difference. This is greater than this one. That means there is a mass difference. Nothing but defect. Mass defect. That is difference between the calculated mass and the actual mass. So in a bag, weightless bag, there are 5 different stones. When you measure each stone mass, the addition value came, suppose 26.2 kg. But when you take them together in a weightless bag and measured, it came something 25.8. Then there is a difference of 0.4. That 0.4 is called mass defect. But now big question comes, where has gone that mass? It will not go anywhere. That is what Einstein said. It will store within the nucleus in the form of energy, he said. That's why he has given mass energy relation, that every mass is equivalent to some energy. So that suppose 10 protons and 50 neutrons together they combine to form one nucleus. Then there is a slight difference of mass happens, and that mass will be like energy which will bind them together, or which helps in bind them together as one nucleus, because they are now tightly bounded together. So the mass defect equivalent energy is called binding energy. What is that? The energy equivalent to mass defect. That means binding energy means this. Let's take delta M. You can represent with delta M. Delta M times C square. Because M equivalent energy is how much? MC square. Delta M equivalent energy is how much? Delta MC square. But in the question, like one question I will tell you, suppose. Example, they have given some ZXA. They have given mass, that is M. That is the actual mass of the nucleus. They have given MP, they have given Mn. Then you can calculate the mass of the constituents. But everything they will give in terms of AMU. Then delta M also you will get in terms of AMU, like 0.023 something AMU came, where AMU is atomic mass unit and delta M is mass defect after calculating. They will ask you what is the binding energy of this one. Then what you have to do, you have to multiply this value with 935 or 933. If they mention, take that value. Otherwise take approximately 935 or 933. So the equivalent binding energy will become 0.023 into 935 mega electron volt. Because every time substituting 3 into 10 power 8 whole square and calculating is difficult. That's why we have taken that value, that the energy equivalent to 1 AMU. So what is the equivalent energy of 1 AMU? Because every time the question related to mass defect or binding energy comes, there you will get the values in terms of AMU. Then you have to find delta M. Then you have to multiply with 935 so that you will get binding energy. And sometimes they will also ask you binding energy. You can represent with EB also, EBE. Or they will ask you EBN. What is EBN? This is like EB, binding energy. But what is this one is binding energy by number of nucleons. So this is the energy I told, like it is bounded or it is binding all the nucleons together. It is helping them to bound together. This much of energy for all the nucleons. For one nucleon means how much it will become divided. Like suppose A is 20. For all the 20 nucleons, the binding energy is EB. For one nucleon how much? Divided by 20. The 20 only mass number. So for total nucleons, this is binding energy. For one nucleon, what is the binding energy? Then you have to divide with total number, that is mass number. Then you will get binding energy per nucleon. So they can ask you in the question like binding energy or binding energy per nucleon. But you should not stop here when they ask this one. Don't get confused. Don't be in a hurry. Take care. Whether they are asking binding energy or binding energy per nucleon, that you have to take care. And little bit more way we'll understand what is this binding energy theoretically. See, let's take, there are 10 protons and as I said 15 neutrons. So the energy required to bond them together within the nucleus tightly, strongly, that energy we call it as binding energy. Or else the energy required to dissociate them into constituent particles. Like here it is now bounded. How many are there? 10 protons, 15 neutrons. Now you want to separate them. It won't separate on its own. You need to apply some work, you need to give some energy. That amount of energy, the amount of energy required to break them into independent particles, to dissociate them into individual constituents, that energy is called binding energy. Either the energy needed to bound them together or the energy needed to separate them. Both are equal. That equivalent energy is called what? Binding energy. Otherwise what I am telling? The energy equivalent to mass defect of every nucleus. That energy is called what? Binding energy. So in the entrance point, the very first kind of question what we can expect in this chapter is based on binding energy, and many times also they have asked the question based on this. So please try to understand that particular thing, right?